أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا صدق الله العلي العظيم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, today we are going to do the translation and tafsir of Surah At-Tariq, just now recited by brother. Very, mashallah, beautiful Qur'an. This is chapter 86. I'll just do the translation and then the tafsir. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والسماء والطارق, by the sky and the tariq. وما أدراك ما الطارق, and what will make you realize what tariq is. So in the first itself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning about tariq, and then he is asking a question as well. Do you know what tariq is? The translation they have given is the star, but because a question is asked, so there are about 7 or 8 answers to this question. MashaAllah. One is, it comes from the word taraq. Taraq means, olden days what happens is there used to be no proper roads, and people used to walk on grass, and by constantly walking, a path was made. That is called taraq. Afterwards, olden days, what we used to do is bang the earth and so on and so forth, flatten it, and then they used to make roads. That is also called Tariq. Another meaning is a traveling way where people used to travel. At-Tariq. Third or fourth meaning is to bang on the door. In olden days there were no electric bells to press. When people want to come to any house, they used to bang on the door to inform that somebody wants to come in. Another meaning is to bang on the door at night time. And that was something very serious because nobody is going to come and knock on your door in the night, late night. If somebody is knocking, there is something serious. So At-Tariq is also, a meaning is that somebody who is banging on the door at night time. Another meaning is the one who comes at night. That person, a visitor who is coming to your house at night time, is also called Tariq. Now the thoughts in your mind coming at night time, they are also called Tariq. You are lying in bed and suddenly some thought comes in. That thought is called Tariq. And the sixth one is a star. And the seventh is the star which has been thrown out from its place. So you can see sometimes the star is the light is coming down as if and this is called Shahab-e-Saqib. In other places in the Qur'an it says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made in the sky buruj or castles where the malaika are staying, and the jinn from our world, from the earth, they travel up to the skies and they want to hear what is going on, discussion going on between the angels and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders are given to the angels. But once important news are there, they are not supposed to hear it, and if they are very near, the angels throw something, and this is called Tariq, which is the star is thrown out, so you can see the light in it. So these are three explanations of At-Tariq itself. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked first, do you know what Tariq is? So these are the explanations given by Mufassirin. But again, it's here explanation itself is At-Tariq is the star. And number 3 is the answer, An-Najmu Saqib. It is the star, the piercing stars or the star which is thrown out from the sky. And number 4 is In kullu nafsin lamma alayha hafiz. There is not a single soul which does not have a custodian over it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected us. Protection is from outside and from inside. We said afah or anfus. The exterior protection is from harm from outside coming to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent angels who protect us from any harm coming to us from outside. There have been so many incidences where people said that I was about to go through that accident and suddenly I was saved. Somebody has dropped from quite height, long, big height, and suddenly they come down to the earth, they are saved. Nothing, no damage has done to them. So this is protection from outside. Afa. Anfus means from inside. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from inside as well, from our own body. There have been so many chances where something could go wrong in our system. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us cardiovascular system, renal system, respiratory system. So many systems are going on. Anything can go wrong at any time and the person end up with the death. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from time to time, even something serious happens, save the person. And even the doctors say that, oh, we don't know how he pulled through this illness. We were thinking that that's going to be end. Sometimes even in cancer, they say, this person has got only 3 months to live, 6 months to live. And suddenly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects them and they are still alive 2 years after the time the doctors give you. So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saving us from outside and from inside. In kullu nafsin lamma alayha hafiz. There is not a single soul which does not have a custodian over it. فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ خُلِقٍ. So look, so let man see from what he is created. خُلِقَ مِنْ دَافِقٍ. He was created from a gushing water, that's a fluid, يَخْرُجُ مِنْ بَيْنِ الصُّلْبِ وَالتَّرَائِبِ, that comes out from in between the loins and the ribs. Now, these three are, there is a little bit of scientific explanation here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling about us, how you are created, you human beings. You are created from the fluid, and that fluid comes from in between the back and the chest. And the Mufassirin of that times have explained, different explanations have given. But one thing to remember as far as the Quranic explanation of that, anything to do with awamir means to do this, not to do this, and ahkam sharia. You have to go back as much as possible and see what the explanation is there. The Sahaba and the Prophet ﷺ, whatever he has given, that is the correct to follow. But as far as there are scientific things in Al-Quran Al-Karim as well. And because the Quran itself is a guidance how to spend our life in this world. But at the same time, Quran says something about scientific things as well. But the Sahaba and the people of the older generation, they had no idea what this means. I'll just give you an example. In the last ayah of Surah Al-Luqman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there are 5 things nobody knows except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what is coming from the sky, what is in the womb of the mother, and what is you going to eat tomorrow, what is going to happen to you, which place you are going to die. Nobody knows except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Mufassirin says that what is inside the womb of the mother, nobody knows except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those people, 1400 years, they translate that nobody knows is it going to be a boy or a girl except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now scans are there. The scan will show that this fetus is going to be a male or a female. So there is a difference now, explanation. So now if you say that ayah of Surah Al-Luqman, we say nobody knows that the fetus after development is going to be going to the right path or the wrong path. Is going to go to Jannah or Jahannam. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, nobody else knows. So because of the scientific development, there are some issues there. And I explained so many times before as well about Professor Keith Morse in Canada and Maurice Bucaille in France. They studied, they were doctors and scientists, they realized and they studied, and Maurice Bucaille accepted Islam because of reading the translation from Quran, and he said that everything mentioned in this book according to the scientific knowledge is 100% true, and how can this be explained 1400 years ago? And Professor Keith Moore is the professor of embryology in Canada, Ontario University. When the medical student told him about embryology in the Quran, and he studied وَجَعَلَ لَكُمْ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ. Only one eye he took it, the hearing and the eyesight and the heart. This is a sequence given. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمْ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. They said that this is mentioned in the Quran. He said he is going to do research, and he did research, and afterwards he came back and said it is 100% true. I myself didn't know the sequence because I scanned about 100 pregnant ladies to check the progress of the fetus, and in all 100 I saw the ears of the fetus were formed first, and the eyeballs, and then the heart. And I saw this sequence never broken in one case. So he said, how can the Quran says 1400 years ago, وَجَعَلَ لَكُمْ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. So this is the scientific knowledge. So that's why, as far as this is concerned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says you have been created from a fluid which is brought from this chest and the spinal column. It is high. How? The explanation the ulama gave different, but now for doctors it's very simple to explain. When the body is developing, the testicles are first located inside the chest. Okay, And when the baby is born, gradually they are moved into the sac. And they have got the blood supply which is coming from the chest. Why they are brought? Because the seminal fluid and the spermatozoa which are formed, if they are inside the chest, the body of the heat is going to kill them. So they have to be brought lower down, but the temperature is not very high. But the supply is still from the chest. So this is what explanation given that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning. This is 1400 years explained that these testicles are initially in the chest, which they are brought down. And this is one of the important things with the scientific development, we can say. Otherwise, the olden days, they have given the various different explanations. But now, because of the scientific knowledge, there are more and more scientific things in Al-Quran Al-Kareem which we don't know even now. As the time progresses, people are going to do research and they will come to understand. One is the sky itself. 7 skies. We don't know any explanation of that. Could be in 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. Researchers and the scientists will bring us some issues and then we will understand what the skies and 7 skies means. Let us proceed. Innahu ala rajhi laqadir. He is certainly able to return him and make his face again. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that once you die, you are going to be brought up back. The second thing, one of the explanations is that once the person dies, all the fragments of everything is disintegrated and joined into only one cell, because the beginning was from one fertilized ovum. The wife's cells join together to form a fertilized ovum, and from that the cells grow to form the fetus. After we die, all our belongings are going to be completely destroyed, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala convert it into one cell. And this cell will have, like you see, it will have a gene. And from that gene, again, the whole human body can be made. You know, if you go to the shop, there is a barcode on everything. You put it and it says what it is. So this barcode is going to be our cell. And from that barcode, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to create the whole human body again, the complete at the day of judgment on the day of judgment. Innahu ala rajil khair. Yawma tubla sara'iru fama lahu min quwwatin wala nasir. The day when secrets will be examined, then there will neither be strength nor a helper. And at that day, when we are created again, brought in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is nothing hidden from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything which we have done externally, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is in our hearts. And another explanation is that even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is in our subconscious. Even we don't know what we have got in our subconscious. Sometimes you want to do something, but at the back of your mind is something different. You want to do things for fame also, but you don't even know that you are going to do this for fame. You might be thinking, I'm doing this righteous deed and so, but in your subconscious that you want to do this to show off. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is externally, what is internally, what is in the subconscious you don't know yourself. And at that day, either you won't even have power to argue Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or do anything by yourself as you are doing now. And the second thing is, there is nobody there to help you to be in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or argue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الرَّجْ وَالْأَرْضِ ذَاتِ السَّدْ. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending rain from the skies and breaking the earth for the plants to come. So the life is coming from above. The water which is going to be coming in contact with the earth, that pierces inside, and the seeds under the earth are going to be nourished, and they will come out after breaking them. And there will be by the sky that returns the water in the form of rain, and the earth that splits due to vegetation. Innahu laqawlun fasl. And this Qur'an al-Kareem is certainly a decisive statement. وَمَا هُوَ بِالْحَزْرِ, and it's not something to be taken as a joke. إِنَّهُمْ يَكِيدُونَ كَيْدًا وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا. They certainly are planning some plot. إِنَّهُمْ يَكِيدُونَ وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I'm also plotting a plot. فَمَحِّلِ الْكَافِرِينَ أَمْهِلْهُمْ رُبَيْدًا. So give time to the infidels, give them time for a while. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling, is not asking Rasulullah, but the Sahaba who were going through trials and tribulations. As Bilal radiallahu ta'ala was tortured, as Khabbab bin Ard was put on the hot lit coal, which was used as a to melt the iron or so on and so forth. These used to be spread, and his body was going to be put on that burning coal. You can imagine how torture was going on, and the Sahaba came to Rasulullah asking, we have gone through so much difficulty, what's going to happen? Rasulullah said, no, wait, do sabr, inshallah. So this is not just only for Rasulullah, but for the Sahaba that the infidels are doing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also planting. So give time to the infidels, give them time for a while. Musa alayhi salam preached to Pharaoh for how many years? Showing 9 miracles, did not accept. What happens? Completely destruction. So wait, a time will come, these people who are rejected will be destroyed. Same thing happened with Salih alayhi salam, Hud alayhi salam, all the prophets went through. Nuh alayhi salam, they 950 years preached, and nothing is happening. Ultimately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, the people who do the fishing, what they do, they put the thread with the hook in the water, and the fish catches it and moves it, and then want to run away. So you are releasing the wire, the thread as much, but where is going to run? Ultimately, you have got the hold. You are going to bring the whole thing down. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, wait, do the sabr, wait for a little while. The complete destruction will be there. That's what happened. The Sahaba were tortured and so on and so forth. They migrated to Medina. In Battle of Badr, what happened? 1,000 Quraysh came along with all armory and so on and so forth, and 330 hardly had 1 or 2 swords or spears or so, and they came along with all the sophisticated equipment to fight. What happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defeated 1,000 by 330. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, sabr, wait. So this is Surah At-Tariq.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى صدق الله العظيم.
Surah Ala is, the significance is that Aisha Radiallahu Anha says that Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to recite Surah Al-Ala in the Jummah and Eid end. All the Eid prayers and also Friday prayers used to recite Surah Al-Ala. The first rakah is Surah Jasiyah, the second rakah. And also in Witr itself, the first rakah Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to recite Surah Al-Ala, second Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun, and the third one Qul Huwallahu Ahad. And another narration says that he used to recite Surah Al-Ala in the first rakah, the second rakah Qul Huwallahu Ahad, and the third rakah Mu'awwidhatayn Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas together. So make it a habit that when we do it, at least we should copy the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam Sunnah, so do the Surah Al-Ala. And one request is to memorize Surah Yasin and Surah Mulk. As I was telling while we were traveling, that Surah Yasin, Rasulullah said that Surah Yasin is the heart of the Qur'an. So we should try and have in our heart the heart of the Qur'an. Memorize it. And Surah Al-Mulk, whoever recites in the night time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to save them from the trials and tribulations of the grave. Glorify the name of your Lord the Most High. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Sabbihisma Rabbikal Ala. If you take the ism out, the meaning will be the same. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is specifying that remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by his name, ism. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Zat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is himself, but he is known from his sifat and his names, Asma and Sifat. Because we don't know how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's material or figure is, we cannot say. The reason is that if Na'uzubillah we give a shape to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we think of this is the shape of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what happens? Any shape you can put a marking on the outside of the shape, and that shape is limited within that marking. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is boundless, endless, limitless. You cannot specify. So how to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? From his names and his sifat. That is the only thing, because that's why he is saying. So whenever we recite Sabbihisma Rabbikal Ala is an order. Glorify the name of your Lord the Most High. Immediately what we say, Subhana Rabbikal Ala, Subhana Rabbiyal Ala, Subhana Rabbiyal Ala, Subhana. As soon as this ayah came, Rasulullah said that make this answer of this ayah into your sajda. And when the Surah Waqi'ah was released, then Subhana Rabbiyal Azim in your ruku from Surah Waqi'ah. So as soon as there are certain surahs when we recite, immediately when you listen the ayah, you have to do some response, give some response. When Surah Al-Rahman is there, do you deny? Immediately you say, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't deny. This is, you should respond. Here, Sabbihisma Rabbikal Ala, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, Subhana Rabbiyal Ala. Immediately you say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no, we are telling you what your order is. Allazi khalaqa fasawwa, the one who created and then set equilibrium. There are two things. One is creation, and the other one is creating equilibrium. Creation is just the body is made, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He has done is He has put eyes and ears and nose, different parts of our body in equilibrium. Suppose the eyes were not in front and the back. How can you walk? You will be seeing the back but not the front. You end up with an accident. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put, and ears on both sides to hear from both sides coming. If the ears were at the back, not on the side, then you can't hear so many things. That's the equilibrium. The hands and fingers and the feet, Each and everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. So this is, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created each and every person, millions and billions and trillions, which do not mix with each other. You know, the thumb impression, they take it because no two thumb impressions are going to be equal. Yeah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, from Adam alayhi salam to the last day of this world, how many people He is going to be creating? Millions and billions and trillions, and all of them will be different from one another. This is the so He is created and make them different. الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى, and then He programmed and then guided. What is program means? This is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us in a fitra that is already programmed. All the creation are made for this. Like the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the plants, and the animals, and the birds, they have been programmed to do certain things, and they are just going to follow that law of creation. The birds have the ability to fly, but human beings haven't got no ability to fly. Okay? The fishes they have got their different ability. The animals have their different abilities. The dogs and the cat, they have got a sense of smell more than other creation. They can smell things from far away, and they can differentiate what it is. So these are the abilities which are given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is in the fitra itself. The second thing is certain abilities are given to a person. Some person have more strength, some person have more intelligence, some person have different qualities and abilities which are different to each other. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created with the fitra on one side, but again He has given some abilities, some potentials are there. And these Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us, I gave you all these potentials, how did you utilize them in your world? I send you for I have given you all this, and I have sent you for testing what you are going to do. It's like some person is given like 1 million, another person is given 100. When the time comes to give charity, if the person who has got 1 million, he gave 1,000 pounds in charity. And the person who has given 100, if he gives 50 pounds in charity. If you imagine, that amount looks very high from the millionaire and compared to that poor person, but according to the ability and the potential given, that person, the millionaire, as a loss, he is going to be a failure. And the poor person is going to be a winner, because according to his abilities, he has given more than he can do. And the millionaire, he could have given more and more, but he reduced his ability to give. Same thing with all our functions and whatever qualities Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, how we are going to utilize in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives our orders, how much we are working hard to fulfill them. These are the ones which we are going to be asked. So Allazi khalaqa fasawa, Allazi qaddara fahada. And then He gave the guidance also. He gave the fitra, and then He gave the choice also to follow the right or the wrong path. And then, but He has given the Qur'an Kareem as a guidance to follow this. But the choice is given to us to accept it or not to accept it. Like Abu Jahl did not accept, and Bilal radiallahu ta'ala accepted. So he was the top person of the Quraysh, the highest position leader of the Quraysh, and Bilal radiallahu ta'ala is an ordinary slave. But he did not accept the guidance, and he accepted the guidance. At the end, who is successful and who is a failure? This is what is described. وَالَّذِي أَخْرَجَ الْمَرْعَ فَجَعَلَهُ غُثَاءً أَحْوَىٰ. This is, and who brought forth the pasture, the grass, and then made it dust-colored rubbish. So this is the life cycle Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the rain, the seeds from under the earth, they flourish, the plants come, you see them green and they grow up, and then at a certain time they completely vanish, turn into yellow and this decay and so on and so forth. This is what is going to happen to you as well. We think we are going to be alive and doing things for a long, long, long time. No, you have got a time limit. We don't know when our time limit comes and we are going to be completely destroyed. سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى. We will make you recite so that you will not forget, except that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. He certainly knows the manifest and also that is hidden. Whenever Jibreel salam used to come and give the wahi, Rasulullah used to recite very, very quickly, so that he will remember it, so that he doesn't forget it. So this is in different parts of the Quran. It says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, don't move your tongue so quickly. Don't worry, we are going to put the Quran in your heart and you will remember, you will not forget. But at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, سَنُخْرِجُكَ فَلَا تَنْسَى إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ. You are not going to forget except if Allah. That means, otherwise, if the whole power is given to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everything he listens, he is going to memorize and he is not going to forget anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that ultimately it is the power in me. I am giving you this power to remember, but ultimate power is with me. I can make you forget, but I'm not going to do it. But I'm telling you. That's why Surah Al-Rahman, Ya mashal jinni wal sini in istatatum an taqsu samawati wal ard famfuzu la tanfuzuna illa bi sultan. Oh, ins and jinn, if you want, you can travel out of the galaxies. If you want to. You won't be able to travel unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permits you to travel. You're taking all the creation, all sorts of things. We are traveling to Mars and so many places in the universe we are going to travel. We think we have done the scientific revelation and we are doing this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, you can travel, but only when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you permission. Otherwise, He can stop and the whole thing you have brought up, you see the planes going so many times, suddenly accident comes and the plane is destroyed. Okay? It happened in France recently, so I'm just telling you. وَنِيَسِّرُكَ لِلْيُسْرَى فَذَكِّرْ إِنْ نَفَعَتِ الذِّكْرَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will make your way easy for easy way. Means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that this is early stages of Quraysh in Mecca, going through trials. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that don't worry, we are going to make things easy for you. And time is going to come, you are going to migrate from here, and then success is going to reach your feet. And he who fears, so he remind, if reminding is profitable, so you have to remind, keep reminding, do the dawah, but at the end you are not going to do the guidance to the people. The guidance is in our hand. Because Rasulullah wanted Abu Talib to accept Islam, but he did not accept. He used to go to Abu Jahl, so many super. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, okay, your job is just to convey the message. The power of converting the people to guidance is not at your hand, it is at my hand. فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّ فَاتِ الذِّكْرَ سَيَذَكَّرُ مَا شَاءَ. Only that person is going to be successful in whom he accepts the guidance given and fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he who fears will be reminded, there is going to get the success after. سَيَذَكَّرُ مَا يَخْشَى وَيَتَجَنَّبُهَا الْأَشْقَى الَّذِي يَصْلَى النَّارَ الْكُبْرَى. And those who rejected, made fun of you, did not accept the guidance, they are going to be unfortunate and he will turn away from it. He will enter the great fire. Allazi yaslan nar al-kubra, and this fire, and he will never. That is the time where once you enter the hellfire, there is no death and no life. They will be calling, oh, can the death come and finish this trouble and trials and this azab we are going through? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, the death has finished. No more death is going to come. You have to do the suffering, and there is no life. You cannot enjoy. There is no life to enjoy. So neither there is life nor death. ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى. And the one who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to purify that person. وذكر اسم ربه فصلى. the three things here. If he succeeds, who purifies and remembers the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worship the salah of her. The three things, but some of us has given this to do with the Eid prayers. Before you go for this Eid al-Fitr, what you do is you do the fitr. You pay the zakat al-fitr. Then you go to the mosque and make zikr. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, so many times, and then you perform the salah. So this is the sequence. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّهِ فَصَلَّى. So they give charity and they proclaim the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they perform the salah. بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. And this life is nothing compared to the hereafter. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask, how long did you stay in this world? They say, a day or part of a day. Because compared to the life afterwards, this is nothing you cannot compare, because that is an endless life. There's not going to be an end coming to this life. The two things, one is khair, is better, and that is, it is everlasting. So the hereafter is better and everlasting. So why are you not struggling to gain for the success of the hereafter, rather than doing all sorts of things to have the success of this life? In the Hadha Lafi Sufi Ula, Sufi Ibrahim Musa, this was given in earliest prophets as well, like Ibrahim a.s. and Musa a.s. the Sufi were given. So pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our future open into our heart, to do all sorts of struggle for our future and the hereafter, rather than working for all the success of this life. The success of this life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this world for us. We have to use the benefits, but according to the guidance given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, on the day of judgment, 5 questions are answered. Nobody is going to move their feet unless they answer the 5 questions. What did you do in your life? What did you do in your youth? How did you earn your living? How did you spend what you earned? And how much you acted upon the knowledge you gained. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from the humiliation of the day of judgment. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us if we have made any mistakes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us guidance to do all the best things to earn the highest place in the hereafter. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.